Hallo und willkommen zurück zu Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. Wir haben uns jetzt mal hier aus dem Fenster gelehnt und geschaut, was wir denn da so alles sehen.
Anything else you would like to know, Mr. Holmes?
Und ich dachte, ich könnte jetzt nochmal irgendwie... Okay, aber ich kann den Tisch untersuchen.
This kitchen knife is quite sharp.
Küchentisch, Gebrauchsspuren, zerschnittenes Papier.
There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table. This kitchen knife was used to cut the paper.
Aha. Und was genau hat mir das gebracht? So. Finde ich hier sonst noch irgendwie was?
This fire is dying out. It was last tended to over an hour ago.
Ah, da liegt aber was drinne hier.
The papers are almost entirely burned. I am unable to see what's written here. The paper...
Ach so. Drehen. Drehen.
These words are illegible. The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago.
Warum untersucht er das denn alles so genau? Ich hätte niemals gedacht, dass er vielleicht ein Verdächtiger sein könnte.
The books on this shelf are in a mess. It looks as though Mr. Turner was trying to find something in a hurry here a short while ago.
Gehstock.
A perfect match. So, Mr. Turner broke his stick when it became stuck between the cobblestones. He did not mention that he was so near to the victims.
Okay. Aha. Naja, Stieg aus dem Bett ist wahrscheinlich die 1. So. Dann. Steigt aus dem Bett ist die 1. Legt den Legt den kaputten Stock ab, ist die 2 und nimmt... Achso, gehört beides dazu. Dann wirft etwas ins Feuer. Oh nee, warte mal. Warte mal. Ich würde sagen, das hier nicht. Ach verdammt, jetzt muss ich es neu machen. Steigt aus dem Bett die 1, legt den kaputten Stock weg und nimmt was die 2. Dann schneidet Papier mit Messer die 3, die 4 und die 5. Muss ich jetzt echt da runter? Nur um den Typen zu markieren. Ah nee, geht zur Leiche. Sequenz ansehen. Das müsste eigentlich passen. Ja, sieht doch bis jetzt ganz gut aus. Und das mit einem hinkenden Bein, das ist schon hart. Was hat der denn da gemacht? Was war denn das, was der da verbrannt hat? Wenn er nicht hinken würde, würde das, glaube ich, alles schneller gehen. Genau, und dann... Oh Gott, ist er runtergegangen und hat sich die Leichen angesehen. Das müsste doch... Warte, spulen wir mal ein bisschen vor. Sonst dauert das so ewig. Genau, und jetzt hat er sich die Leichen angeguckt. Und das müsste es eigentlich gewesen sein.
No, it didn't happen this way.
Wie? So lief das Ganze nicht ab. Ah, es könnte natürlich auch anders... Ah, warte. Dann gibt es noch eine andere Möglichkeit. Er stieg aus dem Bett und ist zuerst zum Fenster. Ah, nee, warte. Ah, jetzt. Gehen wir zurück, Sherlock. Dann öffnete er das Fenster, inspizierte die Leichen, kam dann wieder hoch und stellte den kaputten Stock ab. Ach Mann. Stellte den kaputten Stock ab. Eieiei. Durchschnitt dann mit dem Messer das Papier und ging Gang zum Feuer. Das müsste doch schon eher passen. So, jetzt spule ich mal wieder vor, sonst dauert mir das zu lange. Genau, inspizierte dann zuerst die Leichen. Oh, war das richtig? Nee. Weiß ich ja jetzt noch nicht. Und warf es dann ins Feuer. So müsste es gewesen sein. Ah.
So Mr. Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find?
Und das muss ich jetzt höchstwahrscheinlich finden, was? Ah, Bücher. Fettige Fingerabdrücke, Buch nehmen.
I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look. Well now, what a find! A precious jewel, concealed inside a book. A bracelet with a unique ram's head design, a distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
Okay. Ich vermute mal, dass ich ihn danach jetzt fragen kann, was das sollte. Weg zum Fenster.
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
Das stimmt nicht. Turners hinken.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in Half Moon Street during that time.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Oh, time can pull tricks on you.
Die ganze Wahrheit.
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
Wahrheit entspricht Turners Hinken antiker Armreif.
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then and not now.
But Mr. Holmes...
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window. But you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window, as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money. I was desperate. I only took the bracelet, that's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that. Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
Oh, der Arme. Informationen über den Armreif finden. Ich vermute mal, da muss ich zurück im Archiv nachsehen. Ui, das war einmal zu viel drauf gedrückt. Dann würde ich sagen, fahren wir doch erst nochmal... Achso, Scotland Yard. Ich kann natürlich jetzt erstmal... Fahre ich erstmal zu Scotland Yard weiter. Der Verdächtige müsste da ja einsitzen. Oh Mann, es ist so spät und ich bin voll müde. Das ist der Wahnsinn. Das ging ja mal außergewöhnlich schnell mit dem Laden. Das braucht normalerweise immer ziemlich lang.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Okay. Dann würde ich doch sagen, schauen wir uns zuerst mal die persönlichen Gegenstände an. Die liegen vermutlich wie immer hier. Ja, sehr schön. Ein Apfel,
A
eine
cheap
Uhr.
watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
Was kann ich mir denn hier noch so ansehen? Ah. Ja, es wurden 2 Schüsse abgefeuert.
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots. These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
Na gut, dann habe ich mir ja schon mal alles angesehen. 2 Opfer, Leightons Revolver. Doppelmord. Kenneth Butler und Brian Vercotti sind Opfer eines Doppelmords geworden, der von einem einzelnen Täter begangen wurde. Okay. Ah, da ist noch was ich zusammenfügen kann. Unterschiedliche Schüsse. Gleichzeitige Schüsse. Mr. Turner konnte Unterschiede zwischen den 2 Schüssen hören, weil in Wahrheit 3 Schüsse abgefeuert wurden. Zuerst ein einzelner und direkt danach 2 gleichzeitige Schüsse. Schussposition. Mr. Turner konnte Unterschiede zwischen den 2 Schüssen hören, weil diese an verschiedenen Punkten der Half Moon Street abgegeben wurden. Dann funktioniert das mit dem Doppelmord aber nicht mehr. Ich habe eh noch nicht genug Hinweise. Von daher abwarten und Tee trinken. Erstmal will ich mit dem...
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Hey, ich dachte, der wäre jünger.
Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Okay, erstmal schaue ich mir ihn komplett an. Tiefe Narbe. Modischer Schal, städtische Mode, ruhige Arbeit, Büroangestellter. Tätowierung hat Haftstrafe begangen. Hitzkopf. Oh ja, der hat ein ganz schön blaues Auge.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
Möglichkeit zum Zurücklaufen.
Hmm.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man.
Der dritte Mann.
Leighton, Are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Warum ihm folgen?
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Okay, Westgate, Turners sinken, Turners Aussage,
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
Oh, God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Alter, wie viele Fragen hat
Would
der
you tell me a
denn?
little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released, and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Okay, so, jetzt haben wir noch gerade übereinstimmende Aussage. Okay. Fantasie meint die Person, die Chapman steht, um seinen eigenen Schuld abzulenken, weiß ich nicht. Ob das stimmt, das will ich jetzt nochmal nicht. Keine Beute. Nee, warte mal. Oh. Was haben wir denn hier? Persönliches Motiv für das brutale Verbrechen, das Leighton Chapman der könnte es ein persönliches Motiv geben. Leightons Aussage, Leightons Revolver, 2 Opfer. Okay. Ah, hier kommt auch noch was dazu. Erdrückende Beweislast, die Zeugenaussage und die Tatwaffe deuten klar auf einen möglichen Täter hin. Leighton Chapman. Habe ich denn keine andere Möglichkeit? Wow. Das ist doch Schwachsinn. Ich habe ja noch nicht mal so viel untersuchen können. Okay, aber ich werde jetzt hier Schluss machen. Ich mache dann das nächste Mal weiter. Ich weiß jetzt nicht, wie lange das jetzt noch dauert. Das scheint ziemlich schnell rumzugehen. Ich bedanke mich wie immer fürs Zusehen und ich hoffe, wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. Macht's gut. Tschüssi!